So my name is Orya Roseman, and I'm a humanizing data lead at Bizzabo. We at Bizzabo, we are developing an operational system for the event management industry, event like this. And during this time together, I will present you my final project in Shenkar Master in Design, which explores how designers can represent data visualization that might evoke emotion and empathy with specific. So as industrial engineer, I've been active in the data scene, in the Israeli data scene, for around 2 decades. And when I approached my final project at Shenkar, I knew that I want to bring data and design worlds together. And when you think about design, you think about the people and the personas and how you solve problems for them. And when I thought about the area that I dearly care about, which is data, the first problem that emerged to me was the ability to feel the numbers. As you can see here in this beautiful example of the eruption of the volcano mountain in Pompeii, a beautiful and tragic event indeed. My aim was to enable, to evoke emotion in order to be able to understand the insights and to create a call to action for us, the viewers, but most importantly, for the decision makers. So the most fascinating thing to me was how we are bringing empathy into data visualization, as empathy is nothing but the capability or the capacity to understand or feel someone else, what is someone else's feeling within their frame of reference. Or should we say, put yourself in someone else's shoes. So data deals with statistics and big numbers, which represent trends and anomaly detection. So clearly I had a really interesting challenge here. This image transmitted something to you, whether it's fear or sadness or any emotion that evoke out of the image. And images receive their transmitting from a cultural common rules. So this girl, it's a real picture after the earthquake in Mexico in 2017. So this little girl, this one single story being represented in this summarized graph under the column of 2017. So clearly we have a difference between one single story and summarized numbers. In the Jewish halacha, sabra means common logic, something that is known to all, no need of evidence or any further explanation. So this term was an additional layer to me to understand that dataviz should be projected and presented with some kind of common sense. These 2 books were my anchor during the research. The first one, by Paul Bloom, Against Empathy, talks about or emphasizes the problem with empathy, the problem that empathy put a spotlight on a single story, on a single person, while neglecting all the others. And numbers and nerves describe our inability to evoke emotion to more than one person. As we don't have a lot of time during this presentation, feel free to contact me after. I will be glad to talk about those 2 books. So I understood that dataviz in my project should be conveyed through metaphors. So I took data analytical aspects with design tools such as user interaction and storytelling and design values to allow the designers to evoke emotion out of the data visualization. While exploring a project that combined empathy with data visualization, I was fortunate enough to find this research by a few professors from NYU, which they ask whether human characteristics visualization elicit empathy for human rights data. Unfortunately, the research didn't show any elicitation out of the pictography, but in the final conclusion, they have stated that they haven't tried to implement motion or rhythm or sound into the research. So that was an aha moment for me as I decided to continue from where they stopped. And I actually created an empathy lab. So I have created an empathy toolkit for the designer. First, be familiar with your data and understand the data sets. And then find the leading story, the narrative. And then plan your motion and sound. And then test it on people to understand if it really did the work. I have chosen two data visualization artworks. Hi, Amanda. One of New York Times presenting COVID death on a timely manner. And a second one by Matthew Lucas, which this is one part out of three that represent Hiroshima in numbers. I have implement 3D dimension aspects, and in order to understand if this will evoke any emotional reaction. I have created a script, a full script, like a director, and stated all the stages of the data visualization. About this work, I will show you a few glimpses of the works. On the COVID death, I decided to begin with a simple, with one single person, which represent the first person that was that died from COVID at the United States. And then the story evolved into their urban life and how the amount of death affected the urban life, losing all those people, and what does it mean? And at the second work of the Hiroshima, I tried to mimic a user interactive simulation where people can drill down the data and read all the details and understand it with the user interaction, which we know that increase the amount of engagement with the data visualization. And now, I want to show you something.
Hi, thank you. It was super interesting. During the research, were the people to whom you were presenting these projects being presented simply a video like you've shown us, or were they physically interacting with the interface? And did you see, for example, a difference between being passive, watching something, and actively interacting with an interface?
So, first of all, think yourself of part of the research. You can come up and bring your insights to me. This was not a really user interaction. This is the next phase, of the thinking. But yes, people do enable to evoke emotions and empathy with specific. Apparently from the first work that I showed you, and not from the second one. My thought, it's because we are presenting one single story of one specific person, and this is a bit of a different story. So.